Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Emma Paul-Neal?
I don't think so. Who is that?
Oh, Emma is an author and musician of over 20 years dedicated to emotional understanding for kids and adults.
Oh, yeah. She does musical children picture books and some guided journals and stuff, right?
That's correct. We got The Gentle Dragons, Healing and Dealing with Emotions and Feelings. And she's also done Queen Tween the Cat, a story of gratitude and compassionate attitude. Both are themed around assisting children develop healthy and emotional habits.
Yep.
And positive attitude towards life.
Yeah, she spent countless hours researching the beneficial psychological and physiological effects of listening to instrumental music, decreasing the anxiety level of children to increasing their creative performance.
That's correct. But not only that, she has guided planners and journals that we talked about.
Yeah.
These are perfect for a busy parent, creative, and even someone who feels like they're stuck in the mud. She started Balanced Mind, a guided planner for the overly ambitious, undermotivated, and everybody in between. It's a 52-week planner that walks you through the healthier approaches towards organizing and prioritizing your goals.
She's also the author of My Terribly Great Ideas, an inspirational journal of 5 ideas a day inspired by Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. This journal will help you organize and stick to creativity by creating 5 ideas a day for 90 days, when you'll end up coming up with 450 ideas, one of those which will strike gold.
You can find out more about this and subscribe to the author's email list to stay up to date on all of our new projects, again, by visiting her at www.emmapaulneal.com. That's www.emmapaulneal.com. EMMAPAUNIL.com. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you heard of Capes and Crook, the Kickstarter campaign?
Yep, I've heard of it.
Millions of people grew up on comic book cartoons and superhero movies. There's no exception to anybody not pretending to fly around a city or creeping around the shadows in a dark night, or pretending to release a blast of energy from your hands, or flying away and saving the day.
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do.
You're going to be a supervillain, aren't you, Mike?
Sure. Who doesn't want to be immortalized as a villain?
What would your superhero villain's name be, Mike?
Oh, it'd have to be Night Owl.
This Kickstarter launch date is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021, and it's for the best-selling game publisher Crit Academy that is hoping to raise $30,000 for the upcoming Kickstarter. Mike, I have not played an RPG before.
That's what this is. It's a role-playing game that's based on the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons rule sets. And in this case, it's customized for a superhero game, and it's based in a world called Terra, which is basically a modern type world, a place of science, technology, evolution, and even some lost magic. You know, the game manual is about 350 pages of content. It has a full world setting, full color illustrations. It's got character origins, roles, alter egos, powers, superpowers, all the things that you would want in a superhero role-playing game.
To find out more information, visit www.kickstarter.com/projects/Crit Academy, CRIT ACADEMY, or just go to Kickstarter.com and type in Capes, CAPES, and Crooks.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week.
Yeah.
The show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show today. We are live streaming Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and of course on our home station, KKNW 1150 AM. If you're not listening or watching our show on Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6, then you're listening to a rebroadcast. So make sure to visit www.techtimeradio.com.
Where's the days there? Hello.
To keep up with all the latest information. So for those that need help, that means on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and on Sunday, you're watching a rebroadcast.
There you go.
All right.
It's Captain Obvious is in the house.
Okay, well, you guys were kind of goading me on to say that. If I wouldn't have done that, you probably would have been just wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
we miss it when you do that.
All right, TechTime Radio is a weekly 2-hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. We highlight top tech news along with segments that bring different perspective and highlighted topics. All right, on today's show, we're excited that we will have our letters segment, reading of this week's email scams and funny phishing attempts sent to yours truly, Nathan Mumm at hotmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hotmail ones. Let me just tell you, I've clicked on these links now because I keep on opening these up. Now I'm getting more and more great spam.
Hey, they share it on the dark web.
Yeah, I know. So I just get more and more. So, I first started this segment, what is it? Almost 2 months ago now. And so I'd have to search for these. Now I have to literally siphon out what I don't want to do in my junk mail folder.
You're getting popular.
So, well, I don't know about that, but our poor Hotmail Exchange server that it's running on is like, man, this guy is getting a lot of junk mail we have to filter. So
Stick Clippy on
it. That's right. Or Microsoft Bob, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are having a featured piece with James Riddle, the Vice President of Research Service and Strategic Consulting for Advarra. James will be joining us on topics on scientists using CRISPR to engineer a new superbug that's invincible to all viruses. I got lots of questions to ask him. With one that asks him, can we create superheroes? I'm going to ask him that.
Yeah, you would.
I'm going to ask him that because essentially we're going to talk about...
Sometimes I think you're more nerdy than I am.
I probably am more nerdy. But then I also like sports, too. I was watching the baseball game, and, so I have various interests. And when I like something, I really try to dive into it to get to know it really well. And,
yes, I know.
And move through that.
I
Okay.
know.
Speaking of that, that's like Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves stuff right
That's
there.
right. So let me tell you. So if you guys don't realize, Mike and I actually have a little bit of a friendship off the air, besides the air. We were not friends when we first started doing the show. We just came in together and said, hey,
we knew each other.
We knew each other.
We were
acquaintances.
We were acquaintances, and I came to a couple of your barbecues.
Yeah.
You invited us to your barbecues.
Yeah, so we had some acquaintances, but we're pretty close friends now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
you can't go on a pirate game and not be buddies.
That's right. So we play Sea of Thieves tonight, Saturday night. So that's awesome because I get to play after the show. So as soon as we go home, we play till 1 o'clock in the morning normally. So
yeah. And
Sea of Thieves is releasing a new release on June 22nd.
Oh, that's right. You were really excited about this.
So
they got a exclusive deal with Disney.
With Disney, they got an exclusive. So here is Rare, which is a company that's owned by Microsoft, right? That makes this game. They have an exclusive deal with Disney to bring Jack Sparrow and all of the Pirates of the Caribbean stories into an already great game. And now you're going to be able to go on missions as Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm so excited about that. I may be sick on June 22nd.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on late in next week. Huh?
Yes, there's going to be.
There's like 3 days left, right? Or so. Yeah. It's like the 22nd it starts.
The 22nd it starts, and then season 2 is done. All right, so okay. Then we also have a segment. People are like, what the heck are these people talking about?
Sea of Thieves.
We have a segment on things you didn't know, where we have a feature on China's latest technology, global updates from space crews to driverless robot taxis. So I hope during this hour you're going to find something that will make you go, We are going to start out with Mr. Gourdet and Mr. Brown are getting ready to join us on our conversational cards from our friends at the Love Shack. So we are going to start our show with my new favorite segment.
What's the new?
Letters, we get letters. We get back of letters. Oh, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have songs.
All right, so I didn't say letters this time.
No, we missed it. He even gave you a one-finger salute.
I know. He's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. That's why, David.
Wait a minute. You went right from Love Shack to letters.
Yeah, you totally blew it. You totally blew it.
And I can't go and fix the tape. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have to play the letters theme again.
Okay, that's
we
right.
have to talk about the question
That's right.
first.
So Love Shack.
Well, boy, you just really went off the rails.
I did.
there.
You know what? That whiskey was so good the first hour. That must be.
Yeah.
That's my
did you have enough?
All right. So here's
You
our
want some
Love
more?
Shack question. No, here's our Love Shack question. We can always play the music again, though. Hopefully, right?
Yeah,
there.
we
All
can
right.
do it
we can do it again. All right. So here we go.
He just gave you another.
I know. I
finger
saw
salute.
that. I saw that. All right. So on the Love Shack, they talk about personal relationships. Mike Gourdet was on there. He's going to be coming up there again. We got a commercial with them later on, and they have lots of conversational cards. And this is a conversational card for all of us. What movie made you laugh more than any other movie?
I got two of them.
Okay, start them out.
Okay, so one of them is called Team America.
With the little action figure guys?
Yeah, that was made by the guys that do South Park.
Okay, yeah.
I-
Trey
I-
Parker.
Yeah,
and...
yeah. I went and watched that in the theater,
Okay.
and it was just so hilarious.
Okay.
It is NSFW type stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
this is
you cannot watch it with your kids. It's an
this-
adult.
It's an adult thing. but
comedy.
That's the first one. The second one is Kung Pao Enter the Fist. With,
What is that?
That's this Rob Odenkirk, where he takes an old kung fu movie and he puts his own
Spin to it?
Well, he like creates
Narrates it?
No. He like does this whole thing about the spoof on the kung fu movies with an old kung fu movie, and it's
okay.
one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen.
Okay. All right. Those two are not on my list. So we're going to go to David next. David.
Well, since Mike had two, I have two as well.
Okay.
But I could tell you they're under the umbrella subject of baseball.
Okay.
Major League, the first Major
no crying
League.
in baseball.
No, that's the girl
no,
one.
no,
That's
No, that's not that one.
That's a League of Your Own.
No,
Yeah.
it would be Major League, the first Major League
Okay.
movie, and Bull Durham. Mainly because there's a lot of phrases that, well, I know I can't say on the air right now.
So Bull Durham. Okay.
Bull Durham and Major League, mainly because of the funny quotes like, the ones I can say, like, hey, you don't think it'll only hurt the ball club, stuff like that.
I'm Willie Mays Hayes.
I'm Willie Mays Hayes, and forget you, Joe Boo. I said forget you.
I like Bull Durham. That one's a good movie.
Okay, so my two movies are going to be a little bit different. So mine is Wedding Crashers. So
no, are you an Owen Wilson fan
So I'm both.
Oh, okay.
So I'm both their fans, and I find that movie to be one of the funniest movies. I know a bunch of the lines. I love it when Bradley Cooper is like the boyfriend, right? So he sees the boyfriend, and they come on back, and they want to go hunting, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go kill stuff." And there's just some funny quotes, and then you got Will Ferrell, right? Because he's kind of
that's right.
He's the guru. He's the
he
guru.
shows up as a
No, he's the guru
He's the
that made
guru.
all these things, and he's like banging on the wall. Mom, make me some pizza. I just find that hilarious. And then
pizza rolls.
that's
What?
right, yeah. So it's like, are they here? And so that was probably one. And then the other one would be the Three Amigos.
Really?
So
I was thinking The Hangover. For you.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I
too.
did like the first Hangover too, but I'd probably say the Three Amigos. So I'm a big Three Amigos fan. I thought it was very funny. I went and saw that with my dad, so it has some sentimental value.
Oh,
Me and
okay.
my dad went and saw it. So there you go.
That's the old Steve Martin
Steve
Short,
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, and they're out there and they're pretending that they're movie stars and they got hired and they're supposed to be real gunslingers and they end up essentially having the seamstress build a bunch of outfits for people to kill El Guapo.
That's right. El Guapo
is the villain.
That's right.
You have a plethora of pinatas. Do you know what plethora means? No. So that's,
Okay.
So
Keep trying.
okay. All right. There we go. All right. So now let's move on to our first segment, what we call letters.
We get letters. We get facts of letters. Oh, letters. We get letters. And the letters all have
Oh my God!
This is the time to do it next. It was nice.
I have a sense of deja vu suddenly. I don't know.
This is our next segment. We're moving on here.
I know.
All right. Okay. We were perfect timing. And
For those of you who haven't joined us yet,
welcome to TechTime Radio.
Welcome to TechTime Radio.
The second hour is a little bit
Relaxed.
relaxed. That's a nice way to say
a
it.
little bit.
That's right. Okay. So these are emails that are sent to me that have specific items of requesting regarding phishing and cyber attack possibilities. So we talk about the letter that was sent to me and what happens if you click on the link or respond to each
And I
of
think
these.
that the cool thing about this is while this is funny for us, it's also educational because this hopefully will get you folks listening to pay attention to some of these.
So
They
these
always
emails-
say, think before you click.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. So email number one, Nathan Mumm at blank@hotmail.com. This is from brtupdates.igov.wa. So there's not, so it's the IGOVs instead of like
Not
.gov,
gov.
right? .wa.igov. So again, it's the IGOV. They added
Yeah.
an I in front of everything.
There you go.
Okay? Business response team. Hello, my name is David. I'm a member of the Confederation of Food and Drink Industries of the EU, France president of the Union of European Groups and the Coca-Cola Company.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
You can actually read it too. Right now, we are working on a job for Coca-Cola in the United States and UK and France and Canada. So somehow they had
and France
and
Canada.
Canada.
Did they use an Oxford comma in there?
No, just a regular comma and. I'd like to know if you're interested in modeling, for your photos would be displayed on billboards, magazine, and all major international airports. We have seen the pictures that you have sent us, and they are some of the best that we could have.
So you've been sending these guys some headshots?
Yeah, have you been sending pictures off the air?
Yeah,
you are definitely the demographic of Coca-Cola.
I saw your photo on the site, and I think that before the photo shoot, we would need to negotiate your contract and pay. But the first most important thing is to get you the $450 prepayment so that we can get you glamour shots additional to help your modeling career.
Oh my goodness!
Please do not. Please do not reply via this site, as our mail would not be answered. So it should probably say that it's a non-monitored mailbox, but whatever. Get back to me via email if you're interested in this offer, and I will give you actually, it's not even further. I will give you feather details.
Feather details.
I'll give you feather details.
They're kinky too.
Well, I don't know about that, but feather details.
Well, we really need to get you some glamour shots.
So-
That's exciting.
So I can't click on any links here, but I can just respond to them saying that I am interested in doing glamour shots.
That's a little odd. You think
And then
that's
you
just-
travel around the country and see Nathan Mumm's picture everywhere for
That's right.
Coca-Cola.
He's gonna be on the side of
United
buses.
States, UK, and France, and Canada.
and Canada. He's gonna be on the side of buses
That's right. I'll be
in a glamour shot.
drink Coca-Cola with
feather.
me. That's right.
There you go.
All right. So again, the idea of that is for me to respond, and then they would know that my
So-
email address may be interested in glamour shots. I
Would
guess.
you classify that as a sort of a small time operator because they don't have a click link?
Yes, they don't have a click link. They don't have a lot of information. They're just hoping that they have made you feel so good about the
You
UK,
need
France,
to
and
wear
Canada.
you need to wear your shorts and really bright yellow shirt ensemble.
So I should do that. That would be
Yeah,
perfect. That'd be
yeah.
that's
That would be very glamorous.
all right. Well, not to be
You know what
outdone.
glamour is?
Not to be outdone for my glamour shots.
You know what glamour is?
No.
It's actually illusion.
Is it illusion shots?
Yeah, it's an illusion of something.
You remember back in the 80s, they had like all these places called like these glamour shots?
Oh yeah, they still have those.
Oh, do they still have those?
Yeah.
In the malls that no one goes to anymore?
I don't know if they have them in the malls,
Okay.
but
That's where they were at. I remember that. When they had all those like pop-up.
that was back in
deals
the
in
'80s when the hairspray was
Yeah.
a huge thing.
Yeah,
With
the-
big hair
Yeah.
'80s.
had a mullet. You should see a picture of my mullet.
I can imagine you in a mullet.
Could you?
Yeah, I had hair.
You had hair?
I had a lot of hair.
Oh, wow. That is really a long
Yeah,
time ago.
I have a picture somewhere.
You have to show me that picture.
I will.
All right. So now, Lotto Millions winners from Winners Lotto's Millions. So they just went backwards of what they have. Lotto Millions winners is their name, and their email is winnerslottomillions@gmail.com.
Okay.
So they got Gmail account. So they got to be legit.
That's a legit Gmail account.
I'm sure it was closed down. Your email was just picked to win a mega jackpot of $1.9 million, and then they decided to spell it out: $1,900,000.
Oh, nice.
So I
well,
don't-
that was very kind of them.
So they must have saw some contract that had the numbers spelt out. So they decided that they were going to help me with that. Please respond to your claims. And it was to dear email owner. So they don't know my name yet, but they know that I have won $1.9 million.
How about that? Do they have a click link?
No click link either. No.
So this is just an active email.
just an active
fish.
email. This is a very, very, very short, easy one to read on the air. There wasn't a whole lot
So,
to do.
like we've talked about in the past, these types of email, they're just trying to verify that there's an existing customer behind this email, and if you click back and answer them, they're going to then try to scam you.
That's
out of
correct. All right, here's the next one. To Blissy Associate, and then they had my name in there. So I'm called a Blissy Associate in this. BLISSY Associate.
something. Okay.
All right. Dearest one, I know you may have been contacted in the past.
It's a love letter.
And your help solicited concerns turned out to be a scam. I was a servant at the presidential palace of Burkina Faso, and it was overthrown. Presently, we are in the Côte d'Ivoire, and the president is in hiding here. Assistance to help us save more money abroad would be appreciated. If you feel you can help us kindly and willing to help, please respond, but do not expose what I have revealed to you. I look forward to your quick response.
Yeah, dearest one.
Dearest
They
one.
must have heard about your glamour shots.
This is from Isa Williams at nioka@turei@yahoo.co.gp.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to send
Japan.
you an email, tell you that the president's in hiding, and I'm going to ask you not to share that with anybody.
All right.
Darn, I just shared it with everybody.
That's right. Well, here's our last one before I got so many of these. Here's our last one.
Okay.
This has a bunch of links. It's called G2 Pulse at gpulse@pulse.qa. Your peers need your quick input, and a $10 gift card will be sent your way.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Nathan. You're invited to participate in a short survey about SaaS governance and understanding the industry benchmarks for executives like you. Your response will be confidential and only analyzed in aggregate. Thank you for completing the 5-minute survey. After you click on this link, you'll receive information regarding the peer industry benchmark and test. After you receive 1,000 Pulse points, you can redeem this for a $10 gift card at Amazon, Apple Store, Uber, or a charity of your choice. So now, they're going to say they're going to give you 1,000 Pulse points, and then after that, you can redeem it for $10.
See, that sounds legit.
It does almost sound legit. So click on the link. So when you click on the link, it actually opens up and has you take a 5-minute survey, and it's a Google form survey.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of legit of what needs to be taken care of.
Okay, so somebody put some thought into this one.
So they did. After you're done with the 5-minute survey report, guess how many Pulse points you got in your account? Because you have to sign up with your username and information. Guess how many points you get?
1,000.
Nope, it's 1 point per survey.
1 point per survey.
After 1,000 surveys on their site, they will then send me a $10 gift card to Amazon.
Wow, you're being a busy executive, I know that $10 is really important.
So after 1,000 surveys, and I'll take 5 minutes, so 5,000 minutes of my time, I will then be eligible, who knows if they're legit, to get a $10 gift card from Amazon. Now, they do have an account that you sign up for. But
how many surveys did you do?
I did one.
Okay.
I did one to do it, and I said I was expecting at least 100 points.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
So I was figuring that, I get it. I read it, and I'm like, it's kind of fishy. You're not really going to get the $10. Let's see how many points I actually get. But you only get 1 Pulse points.
1 point for
a survey.
One survey.
So if you do an Amazon survey, because we have an app where we get money, $10 back from Amazon each month.
Yeah.
And they have surveys on there, and you get like 25 cents.
25 cents.
But they actually pay you out, and they have a process to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So this was actually not a phishing scam, but a scam for me to do surveys for people that they've probably sold upon information, and they get it back. So
like I said, this one sounded more legit than the other.
So it's kind of legit, right? So I would guess it'd be legit.
The purpose is really not to get your information so much as to what's the point for this
So
one?
they're I'm sure saying they're selling surveys to people. Right, so companies want to do a survey, and they're charging the company X amount of dollars, and they're saying, well, we'll get plenty of people to pull from our database.
So they're scamming companies, not you.
So they're probably not even necessarily scamming companies. It's probably just a bad business process. Instead of them telling you how many points you get up per survey up at the front, they kind of are hiding it on the back end, and they get you in there anticipating. So it's kind of more of a sales scam than an actual validation scam of information.
Yeah, but they're doing it wrong because most people, when they find out that they're rewarded only 1 point, they're not going to go for the next one.
Yeah, but if they keep on sending these out, then they never have to pay out the $10 gift cards, if you look at it that way.
That's true.
So you can just get free people to survey every single time they want to do a survey.
That's true.
And they didn't have any other surveys for me to take. So it's only one.
Oh, nice.
So if you think about it, then you probably never, ever pay it out because they're probably never going to have 10,000 surveys to do. They're probably going to have like 500 and then fold, and then it'll be a new company that comes on out.
Okay.
All right, there we go. That is our segment. All right, we're going to head out to a commercial break. When we come on back, hopefully we got our friend James Riddle on the show, ready to go with COVID-19 information and CRISPR information. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. We'll see you in a bit.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
What was that shaking sound?
That's just a part of the musical track.
Oh, I don't.
Maybe it was dice playing on it.
That's what it sounded
casino?
like, dice or something.
Yeah, we're gambling on the.
Either that or an ice machine dropping ice.
You know, my wife is crazy. We have 2 ice machines at our house.
Oh, you're gonna get in trouble for
I
that.
know. Okay, my wife's a great person. We have 2 ice machines at our house.
You're gonna get more trouble.
Why
for
do you
that
need
one.
2 ice machines? I got an ice machine in our pantry, and we have an ice machine in the refrigerator. How much ice do you need to get?
Do you know the hole you're digging right now?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'll probably be in trouble with that, but you know what? I know.
Just keep shoveling.
I know she's at a marriage shower right now, so she's not listening.
Oh,
to the
she's
show,
not
so.
even listening.
So we're going. That's why. That's why we're all off the rails right here.
Yeah, you're getting.
Do you
away
want me
with
to
a lot
edit
of
that
stuff.
part out?
Yeah, there you go. We'll rebroadcast that one a little bit differently. All right, well, we have our next segment that we're going to get right to. Our special guest, who even has his own special segment music. We'll get right to it.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts, with our TechTime Radio technology expert, James Riddle.
Oh, that was special.
I know, that's awesome, isn't it? All right. So James is the only one that has special music specifically.
I feel like I ought to be breakdancing or something.
Oh, I know.
A little move or something.
It's a little bit of that Fresh Prince type of sound. Is that what you said?
No, it's more like this kind of hip hop jazz
Oh, it's a
stuff.
hip-hop jazz?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Kind of
okay.
weird.
Well, James, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I'm so excited to have you on because I got lots of questions and we got lots of time. So we have 2 segments with you. That's the great part of having 2 hours. We get to do a segment a little bit. We commercial break. We come on back and do another segment. So we're going to get right into this. So I sent you over a story specifically that I wanted to ask lots of questions about, lots of information. So we're going to get right into this immediately. Now, James is the Vice President of Research Services and Strategic Consultant for Advarra. I've known James for, I think maybe 15 years now. It may be getting older and older. So
I don't know. It's so long ago I can't remember. So maybe we're just getting old.
That's right.
Yeah, that's normal.
That's
Your memory is the first thing to go. I don't remember what the next one is.
That's right. That's right.
We got to send an email out to the folks over in Burkina Faso and see if they'll help us out with like old age retirement programs or something.
That's right. We need to do that.
That's a good idea.
And the Côte d'Ivory, which was actually spelled incorrectly too. The Ivory Coast, which I actually lived in 3 years when I was a little kid. So they should have said Abidjan, the headquarters. Then I would have probably sent them the money. Then I would have known that.
I think we should just call Coke directly and send them your glamour shot.
You think so? All right. Okay, so there was an article specifically posted regarding CRISPR, and you're our CRISPR expert, right? So all the article talks about the ability to maybe have a super gene process that would allow us to never get the flu or colds again. It's like an ultimate virus using CRISPR technology. So all life on Earth follows the simple rule of combination of 64 DNA triplet codes, or they're called codons, that are translated into 20 amino acids. I did all this research.
I know. I didn't get to read the article, so I don't know, right?
Into 20 amino acids. Explain how these codons are created, and let's talk about what this article talks about on how they're talking about altering them.
All right. So at a very basic level, all life is engineered based off of this DNA code, right? So you've seen on the websites or whatever, you see the little double helix thing where there's a bunch of these things kind of parsed together and it looks really cool. Well, all life has that, humans, etc. So these dudes over at the University of Cambridge, super bright guys, they used a technology called CRISPR-Cas9. And CRISPR is basically, it's a gene editing function where you can go in and take that little double helix, take little bits of it and move it around and put new stuff into it, basically start engineering new DNA.
Okay.
So they thought, well, I wonder what would happen if we radically engineered a bacteria. So they use E. coli.
Okay.
To protect E. coli from viruses. So like E. coli can actually get, a virus. Humans get viruses. We also have bacteria that infect us. You can take bacteria. It has the same double helix stuff inside of it, only not as complex as humans. And so what they did is they took this E. coli and they're like, I wonder if we could monkey around with the DNA to get to the point where the E. coli can't be infected by the viruses anymore. And by and large, they did it, right? So they took the E. coli and they monkeyed around with the DNA strands using the CRISPR-Cas9 to create essentially what is a new synthetic organism. So like a new organism that hasn't ever been, like, it's not natural.
So we've cured E. coli from getting a virus.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, I guess the question is, from a technology perspective, is it still E. coli, right? So if you take E. coli and you rip out 90% of the DNA and replace it with 90% of other stuff, is it still E. coli?
Isn't that the Jurassic Park conundrum?
It kind of is, right? Because they had some gaps in the DNA codes, right? If it's not fully
dinosaur DNA, is it really a dinosaur?
And then you add little chicken DNA, and then you got yourself raptors going around killing stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
but the cool part is they can do it. I mean, from a technology standpoint, we have the ability to engineer things to be into different things.
Yeah, and this is where we get into the weird ethical stuff, right?
So you were talking, Nathan, I think you were talking a little earlier about, like, can we create superheroes?
So I'm going to ask you that. So here's my next question. I got this at the end.
He's got it at the end.
I got it at the end.
He's got them all written out.
So if we tap into the redundant extra 64 strands, or the codons of the living beings, and inserted our own code, what would happen to a living person or a living animal with those extra codons in there with new code?
Well, theoretically, they would be a new organism. So, that's the premise for the Jurassic Park movies. It's the premise for a lot of the superheroes, right? Hulk got a little bit of genetic whatever, and now it's Hulk, right? And he's still alive and whatever. But we don't know yet. I mean, the scientists have not gotten to the point yet where they could, for instance, at least not that we know of publicly, get to the point where they could genetically engineer a different kind of human and have it live.
Wow! So could you reduce?
They can monkey around with the embryos and the cells as it's just starting, and they can insert new genetic codes and things of that nature. But at least as far as we know publicly, there hasn't been a human animal hybrid that has
like that
survived.
new Netflix show.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, like the new Netflix show, the little kids with the antlers and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Is it pretty good?
I can't remember what it's called. I just saw an advertisement for it, but that reminds me. Yeah. And I think the last time we talked about the CRISPR technology, we were mentioning designer babies.
So let me ask about this. Is it possible to compress, since we have all this genetic code that is not being used, is there a way to compress the genetic code into smaller strands of our code so that we could then add complete different strains onto our current DNA strands?
Well, you spent a lot of time on this one. I didn't even get the article.
Well, I know. You didn't. I was a little late to get you the paper today at 11 o'clock. You
I know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so Nathan, the short answer is we have the technological capability to do that. As a species, we've developed the technological capability to permanently alter ourselves. Now, then the next question is more of an ethical one, which is, what should we do with that function?
Right.
What should we do with this new technology that we've been able to develop? Because we can alter ourselves if we wanted to. The outcome of that, unknown. But we have the ability to alter humans' genes, and we have those humans can then pass those genetic changes down to their offspring. And in fact, you can see evidence of this where there are new treatments and therapies in the gene therapy world where people with a genetic disorder, like there's pretty recently there was an approval of a new gene therapy that cures a certain type of blindness that's based off of a genetic mutation. You go in, you give the person the gene therapy, it goes into their body, and it modifies how their DNA is made up, and they can see again. It's amazing technology. I mean, just people who weren't able to see, now they suddenly can. And it's not a drug. It's not like radiation. It's little adenovirus or some other kind of virus vector goes in there, tweaks around with the DNA, and suddenly that genetic abnormality is gone, and you can see again.
But okay, so here's a question that just came up, right?
Okay.
So you talked about this delivery device being a virus.
Yep.
We talked about the superbug being immune to viruses. So if you create this superbug that's immune to viruses, can that then be changed by viruses?
Oh, that is a really good question. Maybe. Or if you've designed your E. coli bacteria to be immune to viruses because you've altered the way that the DNA is read by the messenger RNA, without getting into too much of it, you've modified your cellular factory so that the virus can't get in anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Presumably, that would work for any kind of virus until you snag the DNA of a virus and alter that DNA so that it can actually get in to the protected bacteria DNA. Make your head spin, right?
Endless loop of stuff
that you can create, right? So now all of a sudden I'm cured from everything, and then all of a sudden you have somebody break into the technology and say, oh, we're going to create a virus out there that specifically attacks these type of genes. So
one of the things
this is like in sci-fi. You can then, if I was the government,
here you are,
and I'm trying to figure out who mutants are around the world, if I had a targeted RNA sequence to look for people with specific genetic genes, I could create a database and then capture all of those.
You really have thought. You really did.
The
pay a lot
X-Men,
of
I did. So I could then go in and actually, literally, like the X-Men movie has, right? So the X-Men movie says they create this process to see if you're a mutant. You could literally do this now. Is that right, James? Yes. Oh, is that right? Okay, perfect. All right, so
he froze.
Did James freeze up a bit?
I think he froze, yeah.
All right.
Oh, we lost him. Yep.
Okay, well,
he'll be back.
Okay, I'm going to ask him the next question. We'll take a commercial break, and when we head on out, we're going to ask this question. James, COVID-19 relief pill is being talked about. Will it work as effective as shots or even better? Let's take a commercial break, and we'll see you guys right back.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Welcome back to TechTime Radio.
This is my favorite.
This is your favorite music
of all of our music.
All right, with Nathan Mumm. Before I asked, and we went to break, I asked James the important question about this COVID-19 relief pill. I still want to go back and find out if we can really track mutants, because that's how I'm going to end the story. That's what I want to do.
You're really into that.
I really am. I think we can find mutants with that thing. But I'm going to ask James specifically. COVID-19 relief pill is being talked about, and it says that it may provide the ability to be as effective as shots or even better. The U.S. government spent more than $18 billion last year funding drug makers to make a COVID-19 vaccine in an effort that led to at least 5 highly effective shots in record time. Now it's pouring more than $3 billion on a neglected area of research, developing pills to fight the virus early in the course of infection, potentially saving many lives for years to come. So, James, question for you. A number of other viruses, including influenza, HIV, and hepatitis C, can be treated with a simple pill. What is the process to get a pill approved and tested? And what do you think about the COVID-19 aspect of a pill?
All right. So, guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you perfect.
Excellent. For some reason, CenturyLink thinks that it's not a good idea to have consistent internet service. I'm not sure why that is.
I'm sorry. That's what happens when you live in Arizona and it's too hot for you. If you're in the Pacific Northwest,
it's the heat.
Yeah, you know what? It's a great, beautiful day out here, and Comcast takes care of us. So there you go. All right. So, question to you.
He left.
Oh, did he leave again?
He dropped. CenturyLink took exception to that.
So you know what?
They did. They took exception to that and they cut me off.
There you go. He's back again. They're just pausing you. All right. So let's talk about this COVID-19 relief pill. Tell me, how do you get approved for a pill? And is the idea smart to have a COVID-19 pill?
Okay. So first off, a lot of treatments have different kinds of ways that you can get the treatment, right? Some treatments involve a shot. Some treatments involve a pill. Some treatments involve like a nasal spray. So there's lots of different ways that you can get a treatment into a human body. So a pill makes a lot of sense, right? It's easier to transport. You don't have to use a needle. You can put it in a package. You can send it out. People can take it. It's really easy. So it does make a lot of sense to have a COVID treatment in pill form. What you have to do, if you're the pharmaceutical company and you want to develop a pill, you have to do testing on humans in order to prove to the FDA that your pill is safe and effective. Those are the two things you have to prove to them. You have to prove that you're not going to cause adverse events when people take the pill, and that it works. If you can prove those two things, then the FDA will approve your treatment, and you can market it in the United States. And there's similar approvals that happen around the world. Before you can start your testing and do your approval, you have to work out with the FDA how you're going to do the testing. And then you have to get your testing plans approved by an independent ethics board that oversees medical research here in the United States. My company, Advarra, we do that, and there's others as well, that provide sort of an independent oversight of research as it's being conducted. And depending on how fast you go, you could get approval in a year. Some drugs take 10 years. Really just depends. COVID is of particular importance. The government's pouring a lot of money into it. And so it's likely that a COVID treatment pill would get fast track authority from FDA and maybe even an emergency use authorization, which is how they got the vaccines out. Before the vaccines were actually proven safe and effective, the FDA let people started to take them. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a pill treatment or maybe a nasal-based treatment here in the not too distant future. You might even see nasal vaccines, maybe unlikely to get a pill vaccine.
All right. So they said that so far, the only antiviral demonstration to have a clear benefit was Remdesivir, which is an
I think it's pronounced Remdesivir.
Remdesivir. Do you know anything about that Remdesivir and how and what it has in it specifically?
So other than it's approved treatment for certain indications, but as far as the Remdesivir's effectiveness on treating COVID, it really would relate to how the drug interacts with the virus in the body and what kind of protection it gives you, what kind of treatment, or it could be some treatments are looking at alleviating some of the symptoms. So one of the most nastiest symptoms of COVID is your lungs feel like you can't breathe, right? So if you can solve that problem, even if you don't kill the virus, if you can keep the person alive by clearing up their lungs and the like, at least they can survive out the other end.
That makes sense. So it says currently only testing has been with Ebola, but it's been very successful with there. So they expect it to have. It's interesting that a lot of the Ebola stuff, a lot of the stuff that in the third world nations that are big concerns where we send vaccinations to have kind of helped.
Was it Ebola or E. coli?
Ebola. This is for the Ebola
okay.
for that we're talking about specifically. It's been pretty successful. All right. So
yeah.
What was that?
Go ahead.
What was that? What were you going to say, James?
I was just going to say that what scientists have learned about Ebola, RSV, and some other viruses, malaria included, over the last 20, 30 years has really impacted and sped along our understanding of developing a COVID vaccine. COVID's a virus. It works, behaves, and acts like other viruses. It's unique. because we haven't seen it before. It mutates quickly, which is kind of odd. Most viruses don't mutate quite as quickly as what COVID has been mutating. But when it comes to developing a vaccine for a virus, like scientists know how to do that. You just have to make sure you understand how the virus is attacking the cells, and then create a vaccine, which will then prohibit the virus from invading your cell.
See, there's your mutants.
There's my So my last question before you leave. All right, so if we have the technology to now search in CRISPR for DNA and RNA sequencing, if the government had this special test that they had to do to test mutants, like in the X-Men movies.
Why don't you ask them if we can make superheroes?
Well, I know. I'm just going to ask this question. That means we actually probably could create a process to see if there were X-Men people on our Earth right now today. Is that right, James?
That is right. You could certainly create a fairly simple genomic-based assay or test that would look for abnormal genetic markers.
There you go. So let me just tell you, everything in science fiction movies come true. Look at, we now have iPads. Star Trek had these little things. We now have communicators on our. Everything happens.
Is science fiction predicting or is science fiction influencing?
Well, see, I got this whole thing about time travelers that have come back.
Okay, here we go.
So we'll talk about this.
We need to
a little
test
Loki
them for mutants.
Yeah, well, you just need to watch the new Disney Plus Loki series. So they're all it's the TVA.
Listen to you
which
plug in the plus.
Well, there you go. That's taking care of stuff. So James, thank you very much for joining the show. I'm so sorry that your internet service there is CenturyLink instead of Comcast, and you know what? If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you'd be in a much better shape. But you know what? I got you.
You'll appreciate this. We called a couple of people in the neighborhood because it's the whole neighborhood that's getting flaky over the last week. We've called up a couple of times. You know what they tell us? It's heat related.
I told you.
I told you. I'm like, come on. It's like, it's Arizona. It's going to get hot.
I know.
Right? You should be able to protect your equipment from 118 degree heat.
So they got these cables they put underneath the ground, and they didn't insulate where they put those cables because they did cheap labor, and they're probably overheating. Seriously, are overheating in your...
I mean... I lived there, so I got some of the same excuses.
That's right. You know, here in the Pacific Northwest, we never get higher than that 90 degrees. It's beautiful outside today.
Yeah, don't talk.
That's right.
Keep talking. You're going to
My internet's going to be...
You're really digging a lot of holes today.
Okay, all right. Well,
we'll talk when it's January and it's 85 degrees and sunny. I'm sitting out back with my shorts and T-shirt. Yeah. You're up there, huddled by the fire.
That's right. You just go have a good time in your pool out there that doesn't have a merman. So when they move down there for a pool, I told them they have to have a merman. I said you need to put
air
a merman
conditioning and pools
and
that's
a merman
Arizona.
in the pool. And a merman though. Don't you want a merman in a pool?
What is the thing about the merman?
Dude, I was just totally into that at the time, and I told James he had to get it, and he didn't put it in there. So
what the heck is it?
I didn't get it.
He didn't get it. His wife said no. She said, "What are you doing? That's the craziest thing."
All right, we're gonna have to talk about this.
That's
because this is a little weird.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, you've said merman 8 times. And I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I'll show you a picture of one. Okay. Here we go. All right, James. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Bye.
James is not going to text me. He's like, dude, what are you talking about our thing? So he did a pool, and essentially they had this whole pool thing that they were setting up, and I said, what you need to do is you need to put a merman in here. He's like, why would I ever do that? So I kept on they'd show me pictures of the pool. I'd be like, oh, that's really cool, except for it doesn't have a merman. It doesn't have a merman.
Okay.
So it was an ongoing joke. So there you go. That's the whole story. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come on back, we have our next segment of What You Didn't Know. We're going to be talking about China and all of the technology updates that are going on, and segments that we can talk about briefly about some of the new technology they're releasing here in the United States and about their space program. So we'll see you after the commercial break.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivomi continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivomi.com and ordering your device today.
Hey, honey, did you hear what I heard?
What's up, babe?
I heard Mike over there at TechTime Radio. He's like battling he's in the like that the swimming with the sharks in that singles arena, if you will. You know?
Oh, bless his heart. And I also heard, like you did, that maybe things aren't going so great. You know what he needs, babe?
I think he needs to spend a little time in Love Shack.
Yeah, Love Shack. The Love Shack that airs every Thursday at 1 p.m. PST on KKNW 1150.
Come on, Mike. Come on over and join us. We got you.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. We're going to go right into our next segment.
The Merman.
Stories you didn't know.
Oh, it's more Fresh Prince music.
That's right. This is Fresh Prince music. All right. Crews started making China's new space station their home. So China is moving with 3 astronauts who have now begun making China's new space station their home after 3 months of practice. After their launch and arrival at the station Thursday marked further advancement in the country's ambitious space program. Their Shenzhen 12 craft connected with the station at about 6 hours after taking off from Genwick Launch Center on the edge of the Gobi Desert. About 3 hours later, Commander Ni Han followed through with Li Bong and space rookie Tang Hongbo. I'm probably mispronounced those names.
You're totally,
that's all right.
You're all right.
All right, opened the hatches and floated into the Tianwen core living segment of the space station. They took pictures to show everybody they were hard at work unpacking equipment and at one point turning to the camera and greeting the Salyut's audience back on Earth. They represent the first time China has entered their own space station. China is not a participant in the International Space Station. However, China has been stepping up cooperation with Russia and other host countries to create their own space station to continue operation of international space. Although not contractually allowed to say congratulations between China and the space program NASA, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson issued a statement Thursday expressing congratulations to China on a successful launch of crew in their space station. So they're not supposed to say it. He got in big trouble for saying this.
Yeah.
I look forward to the
Politics.
scientific discoveries to come. So he was being very polite, saying, great, we welcome you to space. Let's all work together for space. And then he got himself slapped down, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yep.
The time has come where it takes only 2 days to reach the space station as a result of great improvements, where it used to take up to 64 hours upon a launch to enter into the orbit.
Mhm.
So they've essentially sped up their processes to get there quicker. All right. Story number 2.
Oh, you got to tell them about the sleep quote.
What? So the astronauts can have it. Oh, this. Okay. So
I love this.
So as a result, China is making many breakthroughs in innovation. The mission's deputy chief designer, Mr. Zha, stated to the broadcasting TV on CCTV China, the astronauts can now have a good place to rest in space, which should make them less tired.
That's an awesome quote.
Other
I love
improvements include an increase in the number of automated and remote-controlled systems that have significantly lessened the pressure of being an astronaut.
Yeah.
So they've come up with, well, come on.
I really enjoy
it's
that you
propaganda.
can, if you get more sleep, you're gonna have more rest.
Well, they have to announce that to all of China. So it was like the best thing in the world, and they can now sleep more. All right. Chinese startup Pony AI plans to launch a driverless robotaxi service in California in 2022. Pony AI, the robot startup, operates in China and in the United States and has started testing driverless vehicles on public roads in China and in California ahead of plans to launch commercial service there in 2022. The company said the driverless vehicle testing, which means the autonomous vehicle operates without humans, safety drivers behind the wheels in California are looking for new regulations that may limit Pony AI from being successful.
Well, yeah, because everybody else has their own robot vehicles.
But Pony AI says that they've been successful with vehicles in China, so there should be no problem with them coming as a part of California.
Yeah.
California says that they are looking at regulated robo-taxi services with additional costs and services to be on the road. They're including a fresh new $2,600,000 funding to be a part of this.
Maybe they should go to Vegas.
So they're
running those
things back and forth
between the airport.
So AI would work in California. Let's be honest. You're only going to be going like 5 miles an hour every 5 minutes. So what are you going to be talking about? If you're going to have an AI car, that's the place to have it because it only has to move very little every 5 minutes.
Who knows? I still want somebody to do the Johnny Cab thing.
All right, that makes sense. Well, it has been our second hour has been a success. We enjoy you guys as Tech Time listeners. Hopefully you had something that made you go, I'm Nathan Mumm. We got David Brown behind the board. Mike Arday over here. Have a great day and be safe.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.